It started subtly, an ache that wasn't hers, a burst of joy that didn't match her quiet afternoon, and an inexplicable weight pressing on her chest when a stranger passed her by. Nora chalked it up to mood swings or fatigue, dismissing the odd sensations that seemed to follow her everywhere. But as the weeks passed, these feelings grew stronger, harder to ignore, and increasingly uncanny. One evening, after a particularly exhausting day, Nora found herself walking through the park near her apartment. The air was crisp and the fading sunlight cast long shadows on the path. She hoped the walk would clear her mind, but instead, it seemed to amplify her unease. Passing a man sitting alone on a bench, she was overwhelmed by a wave of sorrow so intense it stole her breath. She clutched her chest, blinking back tears that weren't hers. "Are you okay?" the man asked, startled by her reaction. Nora nodded quickly, muttering something about allergies, and hurried away. But the sadness lingered as if it had seeped into her bones. When she reached home, she collapsed onto the couch, trembling. This was more than coincidence, she realized. Something was happening to her, something she couldn't explain. Desperate for answers, Nora turned to the internet, typing out phrases like picking up other people's emotions and feeling what others feel. The results flooded her screen, articles about empaths, forums filled with stories eerily similar to hers, and quizzes promising to reveal if she had the gift. She hesitated, then clicked on one of the quizzes. With every question she answered, a sense of recognition grew within her. By the time she finished, her heart was pounding. The result was clear: she was an empath. The word felt foreign yet familiar, like a puzzle piece sliding into place. She devoured the information she found: how empaths could sense and absorb others' emotions, how they often felt drained in crowded places, and how they needed to shield themselves to avoid being overwhelmed. Nora's initial relief at finding an explanation quickly gave way to anxiety. How was she supposed to live like this? The idea of constantly feeling the world's pain and joy was both thrilling and terrifying. She needed guidance, but she didn't know where to start. The answer came unexpectedly during a chance encounter at her favorite bookstore. Browsing the self-help section, Nora's fingers grazed a book titled The Empath Survival Guide. She pulled it from the shelf, and as she flipped through its pages, a voice interrupted her. "That's a good one," a woman said. Nora looked up to see a warm-eyed stranger with a knowing smile. "You're just discovering it, aren't you?" "Discovering what?" Nora asked, though she suspected she already knew. "That you're an empath," the woman said. "I can tell. I've been there. It's overwhelming at first, but it gets easier. You just need the right tools." They ended up talking for hours at the bookstore cafe. The woman, named Elena, shared her own experiences and taught Nora simple techniques to manage her newfound sensitivity: grounding exercises, visualizations to protect her energy, and the importance of setting boundaries. For the first time in weeks, Nora felt hopeful. Over the next few months, Nora practiced diligently. She learned to distinguish between her emotions and those of others, to release energy that didn't belong to her, and to embrace her gift rather than fear it. She began volunteering at a local shelter, where her empathy became a source of connection and comfort for others. Slowly but surely, she found balance. One day, as she walked through the same park where her journey had begun, Nora passed by a young woman sitting on a bench, looking lost and teary-eyed. Without hesitation, she sat down beside her. "Hey," Nora said softly. "Are you okay?" The woman shook her head, wiping her eyes. "Not really, but I don't even know how to explain it." Nora smiled gently. "You don't have to. Just start wherever you can." As the woman began to talk, Nora listened, her heart open but steady. She could feel the woman's pain, but it no longer overwhelmed her. Instead, it flowed through her, a reminder of how far she'd come and the strength she'd found within herself. For the first time, she felt truly at peace with who she was, an empath, and so much more.